let us actually look at string slicing. Usually in a string we may not be interested just to extract one element out, but the exercise that we did before gives you a good understanding on how to access any string element. So the next one that we want to look at is how do we actually do string slicing. So we have seen that how you can actually use the index of elements of a string to extract. Now we want to use those indexing to extract substrings, certain part from the entire string. So this is what we call as string slicing. You are taking a string, but you are slicing the string. Just take certain letters out. So just now we actually define x as a string, and it has this. If you want to express it in this form, p1 colon p2, which means it actually you will display the letters from the string x from index p1 until index before index p2. So this is one thing you have to understand whenever you are using a range of index. The first one is always inclusive. Inclusive means whatever value that you put here. If index 1, it means it is inclusive. You are taking from index 1. But the range for the second one, it is exclusive. So let's say if you put 0 to 5, it means if you put here 0, and which means it is inclusive. Yes, you are starting from index 0, but if you put here 5, is until 4, is exclusive, is the index before. So the first one is inclusive, the second one is exclusive. So this applies all. This is the Python way of. So that's why this explains that it returns a portion of x from position p1 to the position just before p2. So if you want to access multiple characters of a string, which is one you want to slice, just like how we did before, you just take out every single character out. Now if you want to just access multiple characters of a string, which means you are slicing the string, so we can do as follows. So we are still we have already defined x as hello world just now. So let's say if you want to print x, and now we use square bracket. Let us say from 0 to 0 to. Now what does this mean?
From H to L.
From H to L. Okay, that's one answer. H to O. Water. So this one, this is what the letter is, right? Hello world. Sorry, the whiteboard looked terrible. Anyway, so this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you're starting from 0 until 4, right? That's the range. It's until here. So it gives you hello. Is that okay? The important thing that you have to take note, and sometimes students make mistake, is understanding that the first one is inclusive, the second one is exclusive. This is the common mistake that students tend to make during the test. Any question up to this point?
Can we use negative also indexing here?
Yes, we can use. We will actually also do some negative as well. So let's say these things apply same for positive and also negative index. So, always remember that this one is the starting point and this is the ending point minus 1 or 1 point before. So, let us say if you want to use negative index, how do you write?
Negative,
Like this,
negative 11 to negative 6.
Negative 11 to wait, let me see where's the diagram. So, this is negative indexing. Just now we use from 0 to, we are displaying the letter hello, right. So, when we put starting from 0 until 5 means is the second one is the ending point is exclusive. So, it's 1 point before. So, how do we use negative index? What is the starting point for the negative index? Always remember a negative index starts from this side, right hand side.
So, from negative 6 to
Here there is a slight trick, I mean slight complication, because when you use the negative indexing, the starting point must always be bigger than the ending point. So, negative 11 is bigger or negative 7 is bigger? Negative 7. So, if you think if you do like negative 7 to negative 6, you want to get the word hello, right. So, if you try that, what this is, no, not this one. Oh, this is the one, right. So, you said if negative 11 to negative 6 for example. So, you get the negative 6 or negative 5. Did I put it correctly? Negative 6. If I put negative 7, hell. You go, all hell break loose. So, this applies also the same thing in negative indexing. What happens if you do the other way around? If you put negative 6, or you already tried already? Yeah. So, take note of this one, and also after this we will come to this stride or steps in string slice. That works slightly different because of the step size. Now, in this case, when you are actually printing, what you are actually doing is you are clearly specifying the starting point and ending point, and you can use both positive or negative indices to actually to print out that letter. Is that okay? Yeah.
So for this we are able to get the word hello in the negative part, but how about for like the word part? Like what's the starting and the end? Negative 5 until negative 10.
Oh, you want to get the world.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try. I have not tried this. Let's try from the starting point, negative 5. Oh, okay. That's a good one. Let's try and see whether how it actually outcomes. Because it always comes 1 point after, right? So what is the starting point for the world? 7. What's that? 8.
Negative. Oh,
Negative what?
positive or
Negative for the negative. The positive index is always easy.
Negative 5.
-5. So you will see when you use -1 here, you'll get like that. But when you use negative index, there is no such thing as 0, right? So you leave it empty. Yeah, so whenever you leave empty, it means it takes until the end. This also works for positive indexes as well. When you don't put any range, it actually takes until the end. Just that here when you use negative index, the last one you see is -1. So if you want to access the last one, so you make it empty. For positive index is okay, because whatever the first thing you mentioned, it will be inclusive, right? So this is one thing that you can actually do without. Okay, any other questions? That's a good question and good character good thing that we should try. So this is what we actually mentioned this now. So that's another way if we want to print character string from a specific index to the last index. You can also use, so let's say if we want to print, we're going to print x also, we're going to use square bracket. The world is starting from what? Which one? World is 6, right? So now we're using positive index. So if you use this, you get world also. The same thing like the negative index. When you're not specifying, it automatically takes until the end. And there is also another way that you can actually use, which is known as length of x. So what is this length of x? It means it gives you the entire length of the string x. So if you want to know what it actually prints out, length x. So length x is not giving you the index number. You have to take note of this. Length x gives you the entire total number of character. The length. What is the length? It's not giving you the index position. So what is the length of this string? This is 11 characters, right? The length of this is how many characters? 11 inclusive of the space. You are able to follow? So 11 means, so this is as equals to, this one is equivalent to specifying x 6 to 11, which means it actually is taking value from 6 to 10. Is that okay? That's 11 minus 1. It accesses the last character. So remember, there's two ways that we did. Without just leaving it empty, it goes until the end, or we can use length. So this is what we get, the substring. Likewise, when the first index is omitted, the slice starts from the beginning of the string. So the same thing also applies. If you are going to extract something up to a certain point, so if you didn't specify anything, it will actually automatically take from the start. So this one, without specifying anything for the positive index and also index 0 to P2, it actually gives you the same results. So just to show this one, for an integer which is actually more than or equal to 0 and also less or equal to the length x, this statement will be equal to x. So what does this statement mean? Let me just let's write it out. So let's say we define again the character, the string. So this is what? Hello world, right? So in this string hello world, when you are defining square bracket empty, you are not specifying the starting point, you are giving empty, so it actually starts from the first. Until 6 means this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, sorry, 4, 5, right, and this is 6. So which means it actually give until hello space, right, because 6 is W, and if you plus, if you plus with x 6 to empty index, which means until the last, so this is actually equals to x. Can you understand this statement? So this one means from the starting until element 5, and what does this mean? This is from 6, which is W, until the end. So if you combine these two, concatenate, it is actually equals to x, right? Are you able to understand that, the index? Any question, anything that you don't understand? So by right, we are actually using a comparative operator here, right? So it's supposed to get true. This is just to show how the accessing of the indexing is. Is that okay? Any question up to this point? So this is quite straightforward. The first one is always a starting point, the second one is the ending point. You can always use the first one is always, so let's do this. So whenever you have the index, this is always the starting, and this is ending minus 1. So this one can be both in positive or negative indexes. You're just going to specify what is the starting point and ending point. Yes? Which one is false? Okay, let's see why. Yeah, this both start, yeah, correct. So then you'll take the first half, and then the second half you're just combining, so it's equal to x. So now when you are straightforward, you can access those words by using positive index or negative indexes. Is that okay? So now